So ladies, we're going to start. Today is our first class of the series on Taharat Hamishpacha.
Logging in online. I'm logging in online.
Bisous. And it is dedicated, the day of learning today is dedicated by Sabrina Goldford for the zechut of her daughter Shayna. The lunch that we just had or almost finished is dedicated לרפואה שלמה תינוק ben Michal Aliyah and Adel Miriam bat Michal Aliyah. This class is also לעילוי נשמת מסוד אשר ben Lydia Chaya Rachel, זיכרונו לברכה, מיכל פיבי בת שמחה, זיכרונו לברכה, אליז בת נינה, and רחל בת אמיליה. And לרפואה שלמה, אדל מרים בת מיכל עליה, תינוק בן מיכל עליה, לאה חנה דבורה חיה בת מזל טוב, שולמית סוליקה בת רבקה, תינוק בן מיכל, יוסף ישי בן דניאל מרים, אליהו הנביא בן תיתה אסתר, נועה בן סלון, רפאליה איש בן חנה, לייב שלמה בן שרה לאה, ומיכאל בן עיישה. And the tinokim of Joël, Léa, c'est ça? Marilyn, c'est quoi les noms? Joël, Léa, and I forgot the other one. Have them in
That's
mind.
it. Léa Joël. Léa Joël.
Léa Joël, et il y a l'autre
Jacob.
professeur, elle m'a dit. Ok.
Ah oui, Hana, Tinoch Ben Hana,
Anna.
not Dory, Kelly.
Ok, Bezrat Hashem.
Kelly Hana.
Merci
Tinoch Ben
beaucoup.
Sarabia.
Okay, merci beaucoup. So today we're going to start learning about a very important subject for us women, Taharat Hamishpacha. I see here one of my friends who already did it, maybe 3 years ago. When was it? 4 years ago? During COVID. No, I do every year. I do like 3 4. No, but she did a refresher class.
You know what? I need one again. So.
Yeah.
Is this a refresher class?
Yeah,
Does it
that's
count?
also a refresher class.
Okay,
It's also a refresher class. Okay, so we're going to start today a series of 7 classes. One of them will be at the mikvah on Sunday morning. So I'll give you the date. And if you
Oh,
can
that's
note your
cool.
calendar, because I want to do it over there in order for you to understand. We're going to speak about the waters of Eden, and we're going to explain why is the mikvah. Okay, but I want to do it there. I always take my friends over there when I teach that class. Yeah, we'll go at the show of Val Harbor, Bezrat Hashem. It's a beautiful mikvah, and that's always where I go. Okay, so now I just sent you on the chat the program. It will be printed in a nicer way for next week. Bezrat Hashem bli neder. Today is our first class, and we're going to speak about someone very important, the Jewish woman. We're going to understand what is our superpower, and it's going to lead us to understand the, comment on dit le leitmotiv? You understand that?
Like the motive?
The leitmotiv is like the
Ulterior motive?
non, le sous-jacent, le thème sous-jacent. No. Okay, the underlying philosophy, but it's not a philosophy. The ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is lying underneath the Taharat Hamishpacha laws, because it's not just laws. There's a lot of emotions behind this motion. So let's see, and let's dig into that. So first, today, we're going to try to understand what are the 3 mitzvot of the woman. We all know here, right, that we have Afrashat Chala, Hadlakat Nerot, and Taharat Hamishpacha. Beautiful. Ma?
What's the second one? I didn't get.
The second one, Hadlakat Nerot, to light the candles of Shabbat. Okay, so we take the challah from the dough, we light the candles of Shabbat, and we have this beautiful mitzvah of Taharat Hamishpacha. And I'm very happy. This is the first group I teach that doesn't tell me nida, because many people tell me nida is the mitzvah because of the acronym of Chana. Chala, nida, and adlakat nerot. Okay, so no, but it's fine because everybody says it like that. But the truth is that nida is not the mitzvah. Nida is a state, and we're going to see today what it means. But it's a state of impurity. So this is not the mitzvah. The mitzvah is our destination, which is Taharat Hamishpacha. You could say the mitzvat ona could be like one of, so the intimacy is a destination, but yes, but we have to distinguish, exactly, okay? The oneness, the connection and the unity of the couple. This is the destination of Taharat Hamishpacha. So it's definitely not nida. We're going to see that today. So we have 3 mitzvot, and those 3 mitzvot were not given to the women with no reason. There's always a plan. HaKadosh Baruch Hu always has a plan behind each mitzvah, right? So let's try to understand what they have in common and what they can teach us about our role in this world. So let's start with the food because we just were starving from challah for not many weeks, for many days. So let's speak about challah. Challah, what does it evoke in you? What does challah means to you?
Feeding my family, nurturing, go through food, meals, celebration, holiday.
True. I love that.
So what challah means?
To you, like what does it evoke? What does it mean? What
Making something from nothing,
Shabbat,
working your hands.
It's literally my time with Hashem.
your time with Hashem. Beautiful.
That's beautiful. I wish. It's my
Really?
watch's time with it.
I think the bracha, the borech that we say after we have, because I personally couldn't have challah for a very long period of time until I realized that I could
Have
make
challah with
gluten-free
oats.
one.
That's
So I was
cool.
like, but I was like craving just to say thank you to Hashem that way.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
There you go.
So for you, it's an opportunity to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu also. Estrella, you want to share something? Oh, you said Shabbat. Daniel, tu veux? Gathering. Beautiful.
Making something from nothing.
Yeah, true. Making something from nothing. Very interesting. Okay. So that's beautiful. And we all have our memories with chalot. I know that, for instance, like I'm going to give you a little example. My son, Eli, he was home the entire holiday. He didn't have any friends in town. So I told him, like, would you like to spend, he's 16. Would you like to spend Shabbat this week in North Miami Beach with your friends? And he said, I'm hesitating. My friends or your challah? And I said, you could have both because I always make chalot for the family who hosts. So he said, oh, I don't know, but he still didn't tell me. So we'll see, Bezrat Hashem. But the taste of challah is a taste of love somehow. You feel the love, you feel the elevation. It's something special. It's not any type of bread, right? It's not any type of bread for everyone. It's something very special. And what is so special behind that challah? First, what is that mitzvah of Afrashat challah? It is a mitzvah deoraita. And we were speaking about that earlier with Sarah, because very similarly to the Omer, and by the way, it's also made with one of those 5 grains. So that is a mitzvah deoraita. When you are in the land of Israel, normally only in the land of Israel, when the Bet HaMikdash is built, we had that mitzvah to take a little bit of the dough that we were making for our family and to separate it. We're going to see why separate is very important. And to elevate it. Why? Because we were going to donate that part to the Kohanim. This was the part of our bread. This was like a tax, right? That we would give to the Kohanim. So basically today we're not supposed to do that mitzvah, but we still do it. As we said earlier, because we should keep that in mind. It gives us the Zecher LeBeit HaMikdash. It gives us a longing for the Beit HaMikdash. It gives us a link with that mitzvah. And it's a very, very, very important part of Jewish life and femininity. So it's very important to understand that mitzvah, not to lose it. That's why we're still doing it. Okay? And basically, it's a mitzvah deoraita. Hashem told us to separate some of the dough and to give it to the Kohanim. And that dough is not supposed to be called the challah. The challah is actually the part that we have separated and that we donate, right? So today we're calling chalot the bread of Shabbat, basically, right? Or of the Chagim. But really, if we were translating the bread of Shabbat, it will be lechem shel Shabbat, right? Why do we call it challah? Because in this concept of challah, there is something hidden.
Means divide, no lechalek.
Not only,
Oh.
it comes from the same root as chol. And chol means ordinary, okay?
Right.
It also means ordinary. You have limudei kodesh, you have limudei chol. You have whatever studies ordinary and studies kodesh, which means extraordinary. Mamash, right? It's not ordinary.
Full of hate.
Yes.
That's
Exactly.
what I was thinking also.
Okay, so it's very powerful to understand that chol means ordinary. Chala means it comes from the ordinary. It is something ordinary. Why is it that Hashem is giving us a mitzvah in an ordinary matter? He wants to teach us something very important about ourselves. He's telling us, listen, there is nothing more ordinary than flour and water and then bread, right? The truth is that any type of tribe has a form. We're right. Wow! No, that's so nice. So happy to see you.
Oh, watch out, you might have another one coming after this
Okay, so welcome. We're starting more or less because we were still in the Parashat class. So so there is this concept that challah comes from the word ordinary, chol, okay? Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is teaching us a lesson. He's saying, listen, you see that flour, you see that water. It seems very ordinary to everyone. All the people, all the humanity has a form of bread as their main substance, whether it's made out of tapioca, of corn, of wheat, of rice. You go in the world and there's always a form of bread that is the main part of the sustenance, right? So it seems like very common. In this very common thing, I'm going to teach you to do something very important. So I want to tell you something. I grew up in Paris. I grew up going every single day, passing by the Eiffel Tower every single day, literally, every single day. So honestly, when I go to Paris, I am not amazed by the Eiffel Tower at all because I saw it all my life. Even though it's been 21 years, I don't live in Paris. I'm still used to it. For me, the Eiffel Tower is chol. It's ordinary, right? I saw it so many times. I don't even appreciate it. Ordinary is something that we lost the sense of value. I cannot appreciate that thing because I have it every single day, right? Now, have you ever seen this series called Emily in Paris?
Yeah.
Okay. Emily in Paris I have never seen it, but basically it's an American woman, young woman who goes to Paris to study or to work in the fashion industry, right? Imagine that I am going with Emily to Paris for the first time. It's her first time in Paris. I take my friend Emily with me. I'm going to drive back from the airport. I'm going to pass by on the Quai de Seine, see the beautiful Eiffel Tower. I'm going to speak because I'm speaking about the subject, and Emily's gonna, what's going on, Emily? My goodness, Esther, it's the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God. And I'm like, whoa, chill, bro. Chill, sis. What are you talking about? Why are you so excited? It's just the Eiffel Tower. And she's going to tell me, for you, it's ordinary. But for me, it's extraordinary. I never saw the Eiffel Tower before in my life. And I'm so excited. Now, I go back to Miami. And for the next year vacation, I decide to go back to Paris. And I tell my friend, Emily, come pick me up at the airport. She comes to the airport. She drives now in Paris. She takes me in front of the Eiffel Tower and I look at her and nothing special. I say, wow, you don't scream, oh my God, the Eiffel Tower. No, why? I'm used to it now. It's part of my ordinary world. I'm used to it. It's so easy when we have something every single day to consider it chol, ordinary. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and especially for us women, right? Because we have very repetitive lives. We do the laundry, it gets undone. We cook for Shabbat for 15 hours. In 1 hour, nothing is left. And you're like, how? How is it? Don't understand, right? You iron, it's undone. You clean, you organize your house, and before Pesach, your beautiful cabinets are organized, and suddenly your kids come, they take snacks, and poof, everything is a mess again. It's very difficult to appreciate the value of what we have when you do something and everything disappears in 2 seconds. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us, listen, my dear daughter, you have a mitzvah. This mitzvah has a destination for you to understand your power. There's nothing more common, more ordinary than flour and water. And yet, I'm going to ask you, when you do that physical, ordinary thing, to go dig with your hand and separate part of this ordinary to make it extraordinary. Because that's your power. You have the power to transform something physical, apparently ordinary, into something extraordinary. And that's why you, my dear daughter, says Hashem, have the power. You're a very good listener. Such a good student, Lena. You, my dear daughter, have the ability to make a house that are just 4 walls and a roof, a home. Who else can do that but a woman? You have the power to take flour and water and to make a yummy challah. And you give that to a chef, a man, who has the same recipe, but it will never taste like your grandma's. Why? Because she put herself into it. She put her love into it, right? You have the power to transform something physical, material, that seems to be ordinary into something extraordinary. That is one of your magical superpowers. Second thing, we said the second mitzvah is adlakat nerot. Okay, interesting. What is adlakat nerot? Adlakat nerot basically is lighting the Shabbos candles. So now we were saying that there's nothing more ordinary than bread in the sustenance area. But today, if there is something that is also very chol, very ordinary, is time. Did you notice how time flies? How we don't appreciate time besides during the Chagim. And that's why we all appreciated Pesach so much when we had a housekeeper. Because, private joke, because we could sit and be in the moment. When do we have the luxury to do so? It's very, very rare today. In French, there is a saying, a word, a sentence that says, oh, you're killing time when you are, like losing your time. The truth is, yes, yeah. People kill time in front of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. They feed you with stupid things. They feed us with stupid things. We are with WhatsApp all day long answering this message and this message and this message. And when you have a day of Midrasha and all the messages scroll down, and then the next day everybody tells you, why didn't you answer me? I'm sorry, I wasn't with my phone. What? We're not with your phone, right?
It's so crazy.
Time is
Like, you can't
crazy.
be present because
You cannot be present. Now I want to make a little experience with you. I want you to close your eyes when you're ready. Close your eyes and we're going to experience time together. Okay? 1, close your eyes. Don't be scared. Nothing's going to happen. Not going to disappear. 1, 2, 3. You can now open your eyes and you experienced 60 seconds, 1 minute. How did it feel to you?
Amazing.
Did it feel long, short? Short? Long? Both. It's interesting because many times, as moms at least, we answer 1 minute, 1 minute. It goes by so fast. There is nothing today in our generation more ordinary, more chol than time. Time pass by like that. From one Shabbat to another, is there a week? I don't know. It feels like we're just projected into another temporality. The concept of time has changed, it accelerated, and it's okay because this is what our sages tell us that is going to happen before the coming of Mashiach. So Baruch Hashem, great. Time will accelerate. But how can I appreciate, give value to time? Hashem gave us a gift, a beautiful present. It is Shabbat. So many times, I wish I could have a remote control and put on pause. Pause, please. This moment, everybody's at the table. I just want to enjoy my family. I want to enjoy this moment with my husband. I want to enjoy this moment with my living parents. I want to enjoy this moment with myself. I want to enjoy this moment. Sometimes you just want to put on pause. That's it. Wait. It goes too fast. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us matches and candles. This crazy flow of seconds and minutes that is out of control and that is so ordinary. Hashem gave us the opportunity to come and separate 25 hours of this craziness and of this whole ordinary time and make it extraordinary. How? By lighting the candles of Shabbat. By lighting the Shabbos candles, I am actually putting on pause. Pause. I am transforming in the time something ordinary into something extraordinary. But this is not only for Shabbat. Hashem is hinting to our power. He's saying, well, do you know that you have the power to do that whenever you want? You cannot decree that it's Shabbat every day, but you can decide that there's no snow here, that this rainy day, that could be such a boring moment where all the kids are going to be on their iPads and doing nothing and complaining and whining and this and that. You can decide to turn it into an extraordinary moment. How? Guys, Come, let's make cookies together. Guys, let's put games. Let's play Monopoly. Let's play whatever. You can decide. You have that power. We have that power to transform a moment into something extraordinary. And it's true with ourselves. We wake up in the morning. Oh my God, look at this girl in the mirror. Oh, what happened to her? Is she really 47? Oh, wow. You can also decide to make this a perfect moment. You can decide that, okay, my goodness, I'm going back to my bed. I need to clean that face. I need to sleep. I need to, or you can also switch your mindset. You wake up in a bad mood and the entire house is trembling. But if you decide to use your superpower of transformation from the ordinary to the extraordinary, what can you do? You can make it a happy day. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Yeah, you can decide to sing, not evangelize, but you can decide to sing music that you love, that turn on the good energy in you. You have the possibility to use a cappella,
All right.
and you are allowed to sing. You can put a cappella songs. If you go on YouTube and you say a cappella Jewish music, you're going to have a huge amount of music that show up. So you can do that. You can, if you're really depressed, you can also ask a heter from your Rav. If it's a moment like of deep depression, like they will give a heter. Like during COVID, for instance, they had allowed for people to listen to music because it was a lot of people were lonely, so there's the Torah never exclude. It includes everything. So, but singing makes you happy. Then if you don't have a nice voice, you might make other people annoyed. No, I'm kidding. But do something that helps you. Decide to use that power that you have, that we have, to turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. We have the power to do that. And it will change. It will change our life. Mamash. And we said, we have the power of transforming something material, physical, ordinary into something extraordinary. We have the power to transform a moment, time, right? So we said, Afrashat Chala, Adlakat Nerot. But what about Taharat Hamishpacha? What about that beautiful picture of you that you have on your buffet of the Chatan and Kala that you were once? Him looking at you like that, and you looking at him like that. And now you're looking at each other like, right? What happened? Taharat Hamishpacha is the key to make us understand that, wait, didn't you understand that there was nothing more chol than two people who live together? That's why the Goyim have this saying that love lasts for 3 years only. Why? Because after 3 years of living together, if you don't have Taharat HaMishpacha, you can't stand the other person in front of you. You don't even appreciate that person anymore. It's impossible. How can you appreciate someone that you're every day with if you don't have order, if you don't have something that makes this couple extraordinary? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us, listen, the life of a couple and the life of a woman has cycles, right? We are going to explain to you how you can also use your power of transformation from ordinary to extraordinary in the relationship. How? By taking this relationship that is ordinary and transforming it into something extraordinary. And that's what we're going to learn together again, because you all married here. So we're going to review those laws together. Okay? You got that? Yeah? Now we're going to introduce the concept of nida. Nida is very interesting because the word nida means separate. And it alludes to a state of spiritual impurity. Nida is not the moment where the wife or the woman is dirty. Not at all. She's not dirty. She's not physically impure. She has on her a state of spiritual impurity. Her body is not disgusting because she has blood. Ooh, disgusting. No, it has nothing to do with the physical. It's a spiritual state. So, what is the state of Nida? We're going to explain it a little bit by understanding the value of life in Judaism. Judaism, contrary to apparently many other religions, value life more than anything. More than anything. On Yom Kippur, if someone is in danger, is in life danger, he can break Yom Kippur, and it's the holiest day of the calendar, right? On Shabbat, a woman who has to give birth go and takes a cab and goes to give birth. Someone who is in life danger is called pikuach nefesh, to save the life of someone, right? So it's very important to understand that. It all comes from the value we have for life, okay? And how important it is to value life. When we go to a cemetery, what happens? We visit a place where a lot of corpses, how do you call them? Corpses, bodies of corpse are underneath the soil. J'ai atteint mon quota en anglais.
The soil, yeah.
Buried. Thank you so much. Or buried, okay? When a body is empty of its neshama, that body becomes tameh. Tameh is actually a form of spiritual impurity also. Why? Because there's no more life in it. So the body is like an empty envelope and it becomes tameh. That's why we don't need to touch it to get the impurity. That's why when you go to somebody goes to a cemetery, when he goes out, he will wash his hand. He would do netilat yadayim without the bracha, right? Why? And without drying its hands. Why? Because when you go into a cemetery, you take something, some part of the impurity with you. So you go out, you wash your hands. Your hands don't look dirty. There was no blood, there was no contact with the dead corpse. And still, there is this spiritual impurity. If I had a remote control right now, I would be able to turn on the TV, right? This screen. You don't see the energy that comes from my remote control to the screen, and yet it exists. We know that. So it's actually the same. The spiritual impurity is something we don't see like that with our own eyes, with our limited vision, but it's something that exists. So when a woman becomes a teenager officially and she starts having her periods, what happens? In her womb, she develops a cycle. And what is this cycle made of? We have a specialist of health here. So I'm going to pretend that this is a uterus, okay? So the uterus will cover itself with a membrane that grows, that is called the l'endomètre, the endometrium, okay? The endometrium will start growing in order to create a very fluffy pillow for something very precious to arrive. This precious little thing is called an ovula. What is an ovula? It's a potential life, right? The ovula that comes from the ovary is dropped usually at the mid-cycle, so day 14 more or less of the cycle, right? And it comes and it lays in this fluffy little pillow, awaiting to be fecundated, right? If there is fecundation, the life that was a potential life becomes activated, and there is life that is formed. So it's not from a potential, it becomes real. Okay. If not, if it's not fecundated and we don't have a little baby like that, what happens? Just drops together with the membrane, with the endometrium, and it leaves the womb, leaving behind the loss of a potential life, and gets ready for a second cycle, right? Another cycle of potential life that will maybe end into an activated, a real life or not. Every month it's like that until menopause, right? So what is the state of nida? The state of nida is when a woman loses this potential life for the first time. What happens? She has a drop of blood or more drops of blood, but she has blood coming out from the uterus. This is the first time when a young girl, a young woman receives her period for the first time, she becomes a nida until she goes into a cycle of a protocol, of purity that ends with a mikvah, but that doesn't, the mikvah itself is not sufficient. There is a protocol of 5 steps that we're going to see together, B'ezrat Hashem. And through those 5 steps, ending in the mikvah, she will become pure again. Basically, from the moment a girl has her period until the mikvah of her wedding, she is a nida, right? And same thing, if a woman has been married and has never went to have never been through that protocol of purity, of purification, then she's also a nida, okay? So a nida is a woman that receives this spiritual impurity linked to the loss of a potential life, okay? That is the nida. We're going to stop here for today. Next week, we're going to speak about the ideal relationship between husband and wife. Okay. If you have any question, let me know.